guys. Okay, good.
No.
What's wrong, Miss Greenberg?
Well, this episode is supposed to be about being inquisitive, that learner goal, but I have no ideas. I mean, I wrote something, but I just don't think it's going to be funny or good or fresh.
What about curiosity killed the cat?
Yeah. Cats are naturally curious, right?
Yes, isn't that a good thing?
Yes! Okay, Tank, load me up! Perfect. I found out. I did all my research, and did you know that this saying didn't actually start with curiosity killed the cat? In 1598, this playwright, Ben Jonson, he actually wrote a play and it said care killed the cat. But in those times, care meant worry or sorrow. So it's sorrow or worry that killed the cat, not curiosity. Perfect. I love finding out something new just because I was curious about it, and it didn't kill me. Okay, everyone, so now that we've found out and we've debunked that myth, curiosity did not kill the cat, it was sorrow, it's your turn as a class. So the first fact that I found out in all of my research is that curiosity actually helps us to survive. So now we're gonna have the timer go on for 1 minute and we can have a big class brainstorm. It's your turn. How would curiosity help you to survive? Go. Yes, curiosity does help us to survive. Research from Berkeley, which is a university in the United States, says that curiosity helps us to survive because we are way more perceptive about our environment and way more interested in novel things. So now here's your second opportunity. So as a class, you have 60 seconds to tell me why curiosity might make people a lot happier. Go! Great, so if you said it's because people who are curious actually have lower levels of anxiety, plus they have greater satisfaction in life because they just find things to be thinking about and wondering about, then you would be correct. And the last one, at least for today, is that curiosity helps people do better in school and in work. So it's your chance to weigh in. Brainstorm as to why that might be. Go! Well, one of the answers that I hope you said was that if you're more curious and you find more and more ways to be inspired by doing similar things over and over again. I know that here at school, even though I've been working here, this is my 13th year working here, I'm still very curious about what helps teachers learn, what helps students learn, and what I can do to make my job better. So the more that you can do that in your workplace and in your school, the more successful you are. Well, because this month is our learner goal, is highlighting curiosity or being inquisitive, I figured I would sniff around for interesting content from teachers and students. And wouldn't you know, we have them as part of our Say What feature. First person is going to be Mr. Kyle King, our high school principal. And he is going to, I'm really curious about improving my handstand, so he's actually going to tell us about that. Here we go.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this episode of Say What. And this time around, we are talking to one of the high school principals. His name is Mr. Kyle King, and he's also Rio's dad. And I found out that Mr. King actually trains with handstands and does handstands. I was really curious, especially because our learner goal is about being inquisitive. I was really curious, and I wanted to know, first question is, Mr. King, how did you get into handstands?
Well, thanks for having me. And handstands started for me when I started practicing Capoeira, actually, because it is a big part of the training that we do for Capoeira Angola.
Oh, cool. So what's Capoeira? Maybe you could just let us know.
Yeah, so I think, it's really important to understand the origin of my background with handstands as it relates to Capoeira. Capoeira is a martial art that originated in, actually in Africa, but they say it was born in Brazil because there were many people that came over from Africa to Brazil, and they were the ones that created this dance fight, is what it's called, hundreds and hundreds of years ago.
Oh, wow, that's super cool. So how long have you been working on handstands as part of your Capoeira training?
I guess you could say probably about 20 years now.
20 years! Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's okay. So I would consider you probably have done maybe over 10,000 hours of this, which is what Malcolm Gladwell says is basically the thing for practicing and mastery. Okay, so if we're interested in learning some handstand tricks from you or tips and tricks for getting better at our handstands, what should we do? Maybe Mabel can watch while we try. Yes.
So the first thing that you want to do when you're practicing your handstands and getting started with them is to stretch out your wrists, okay? Because this is where there's going to be a lot of weight that is bearing down on these joints. So yeah, just stretch them out, doing in circular motions are good, both ways, back and forth here, just like that. And 30 seconds or so is probably good. Once you've stretched out your wrists, next you're going to want to get into a downward dog like position. And even in this position, it's a good idea to warm up your joints. That would be your shoulders, your elbows. Just move those around. you want to loosen everything up because they will also be taking quite a bit of weight. So move those around. Then once you're in your downward dog, you're going to do little like kick-ups with one of your legs. So it's going to be little kick-ups.
Little kick-ups.
Just little kick-ups. And then you'll switch legs, just little kick-ups. Good. And don't overdo it. Maybe 10 to 15. And what you're doing now is you're 10 to 15. What you're doing is you're getting comfortable with going upside down. It's not something that's natural for most of us, although in Capoeira, we like to say that we see the world upside down because we spend so much time on our hands. The next phase would be to find a section of the wall that's been that's cleared out. There's no furniture obstructing it, and for this you would go completely inverted, completely upside down.
Okay. Oh, Mabel's happy.
Wow,
I'm
Miss
upside
Greenberg, that's it. Very
I did it. I'm
impressive.
upside down.
Very impressive. That was a cheer
Yeah.
from Mabel. Now,
Yeah, I know.
this phase 2 is one that you would want to have. You definitely want to make sure that you have somebody around the first time you do this, and a parent is good to have on hand. And again, you want to clear out the space so there's nothing that you can you'll knock into if you are to go off to the side or come down the wrong way. But again, it's really, really important to have a spotter around, to have a parent around if you've never done this before.
So what's the longest amount of time that you can do a handstand? That's my goal.
Great question. Well, one thing that I train, I've been training recently is how long I can hold a handstand. And I have been doing about a 60-second count lately.
Oh my gosh, I'm having such a hard time going past 2 seconds. So that's my goal. You're where I am. So
Yeah.
60 seconds, and that's without a wall. Is that without a wall?
That's without a wall. That's with that. Yeah. So I've
Wow.
worked. It's taken years, though. Like I said, it's been about 20 years I've been doing handstands.
That's amazing. So what are you planning on working on next?
Well, there's all sorts of variations on the handstand in Capoeira, and I have a number of them that I'm working on right now. In fact, one of them is called the beija-flor, and it means hummingbird in Portuguese, and so it's a handstand or a movement that mimics the hummingbird.
Oh, that's so cool. I want to be able to see that. Well, thank you so much for showing us some of the things that that you're interested in, especially handstands, and we really appreciate it. So remember, everybody, if you're interested in being part of this show, you can email me at cgreenberg@ths.edu.hk. And thank you again, Mr. King, for being part of this episode.
It was a pleasure.
Holding this handstand takes so long. Good thing I had Mr. King give me some tips. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not really holding handstand. The camera's upside down. Anyway, for our next section on Say What, I was sitting at the computer and I received an email from a student, and her name is Now, and she thought that it might be interesting for people to know about eczema. So here's Now telling us about that in our Say What feature. So thank you so much for joining us today, Now, and you sent me an email that took a lot of courage. So how long have you had eczema?
I've had eczema for roughly around my whole life.
Wow, so ever since you were a baby.
Yeah.
Okay, what's eczema?
Let me tell you what it isn't first.
Okay.
So Zoe, she's in my grade, and she says eczema is where you hate eggs and you love your mom. But yeah, that isn't very true.
No, that's not eczema.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so what is it actually?
Eczema is something where your skin gets very flaky and dry, and it's very itchy and sensitive.
From what?
I think because of, I don't really know.
Oh, okay. All right, well, we'll find out. So you just find that out. Okay. How many people in the world have eczema?
15 to 20% of kids have it in the world, and 3 to 5.
Wow, so here at the Harbour School, we have about 350 students, so 15 to 20% would be, if you do the math, roughly like 45 kids. So you're not the only kid here with eczema. So thank you even more for saying something about that. So tell us about your regimen, like how do you take care of yourself? What do you have to do?
Oh, so I have to use special soaps. Sometimes it stings, sometimes it doesn't, but it depends on how bad your eczema is right now. And in the morning and the evening, I put cream on. 3 different creams. One of them
3 different creams.
because one of them is sunscreen because the heat can also affect it.
Oh, I see. So it's being very sensitive. Are you able to go swimming in the pool or the beach? Is one better than the other?
The beach is definitely better, but
Okay.
it will sting if your eczema is really bad because of the minerals inside of the ocean. It will sting, but it's also really good for your skin.
Okay. Oh, because it's salt and the minerals there rather than the chemicals in a pool.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Are you able to have pets?
Yes, I have 3 dogs.
Oh, okay. So that people with eczema can have pets. Well, that's really
Yeah,
good.
it just doesn't help a lot.
No, it doesn't help. So anything positive about having eczema at all?
No,
No.
no.
All right. Well, at least you're being honest. Is there anything that you want to share? Interesting facts or anything like that?
No, I think I said it all.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much now. And remember, if you're interested in doing anything for our Say What feature, you can email me. I already have a couple of students lined up. Bye.
Bye.
And remember, as you're finding lots of things to be curious about and researching those answers, remember to avoid false information and make sure you're using credible sources. Have a great week.